I'd like to call a meeting of the Cable Franchise Negotiating Committee to order. The members that are present are John Pachorik and myself. I don't see Dan. Dan is representative from Sunderland, but I understand there are some other people from Sunderland who are very welcome here. I think we've got three town admins. If Pete is still on there. And we've got Greg and we've got, oh, you don't have your name in front of you. How am I supposed to know who you are if your name's not in front of you on the screen there, Becky? And I see Melissa. Nice. Welcome to you, Melissa. John, I see Gail. Gail Gunn. There's a person I don't know, but you seem to be at UMass.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Are you a Sunderland resident too?
I am as well.
Oh man, Sunderland is really packing the room here today. Good for you. And then Brian or Cindy Bennett and Brian Coldy. Okay. All right. Great. Well, our agenda is really only got one item on it to discuss the cable franchise renewal. And I know Bill had given us all various bits of homework. Mine was to bug Eileen to get strand maps, and I've not yet gotten them from her. But I think John may have actually made some progress on his homework, which was to get make a draft of um, a capital plan.
Yes, I did work with the woman from oh, I don't recall her name. I'm one moment. One moment.
Dan is here, Joyce.
All right, Dan, welcome, Dan.
Apologies.
I did work with Danielle from Oculus Technologies, and she helped compile a pretty good capital report that we can submit. We'll look it over before, and I can email it to everybody before Bill Solomon sends it off at Comcast. But basically just has a lot of capital upgrades, including equipment that we're looking to incorporate, as well as other things such as that for, yeah.
Does your capital plan include, I think John mentioned that because the town offices are going to be moving in Deerfield in the next couple of years, does it include like the upgrades that would be needed for that?
I don't recall. I should contact her and let her know. And I'll Greg did send me an item list, which I will send her as well, and we can incorporate that in as well for the 1888 move.
Okay. Um, all right, this is usually where we turn it over to Bill and Bill gives us more homework. Can somebody try calling him again?
Uh, could you message me his number real quick? When I try calling it
Okay. Only if you have an iPhone.
I do have an iPhone.
All right, then let me go get mine and
I'll send you my phone number through the chat so you can text it to me, but please do not give the number out.
well, why don't I put his phone number in the chat?
Ah, yes, that'd be better.
There we go.
Joyce, was this the time period that Bill was on vacation?
No, he said he could come today. In fact, he
Okay,
sent an email asking Eileen Leahy to call in to the meeting. Um, but I don't, like, there wasn't any reply from Eileen saying, yes, I will do that. It's gonna take me a second to get it. I had it here a second ago. Okay.
There's a lot of seeds in here.
There we go. So there's Bill's number for everyone to see. Hmm. So this is like today is the first cold, rainy day I've had in Stockholm. I know you're feeling real sorry for me, but it's like 50 degrees and raining.
Hi, Bill. We're curious where you were. All right. If you're only, let me ask and see what we want to do. He's 10 minutes away. Do we want to let him join by phone or just have him come upstairs? We could talk other matters until he gets here.
Sure.
That might be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit. All right. Come in through the back door. It's unlocked.
Well, for those of us who don't know.
It's in the
is he-
Sunderland Town Hall, and if you go by the library, loop around by the elevator, that's the back door. We're open. You're welcome.
He's a lawyer who has done, many franchise, agreements. He's worked almost solely with municipalities and helping them develop the best deals they can get with Comcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring this for
And for anybody who is a resident, please note that the meeting is being recorded. So, and this is not really for if you have an issue with something, really the appropriate place to complain about service or anything. This is to help negotiate a contract, just so people are aware of that.
Yeah.
concerns, you should share them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but we won't be able to like send someone to your house to look into your problem.
Right. And
But yeah, we
Just
can.
be polite and professional with your comments too about other people or services. That's why I share that. Kindness is good.
So this is Brian. I'm actually going to be a new resident in Sunderland. I just had a quick question because this is the first
Yeah.
time I've been on this. So I know you guys said you're going to go with Comcast. Have you looked into fiber options? I know that Sunderland doesn't have fiber yet, but maybe bringing it.
When you say look into fiber options,
Yeah, bringing into fiber internet into the Sunderland in general, like GoNet speed or something like that, something that's reliable but pretty cheap. I only ask because I do IT for Cooley Dickinson Hospital. I'm their network engineer, so I prefer a lot of things. We do deal with Comcast as well. Just a question.
my understanding is it would be cost prohibitive for us to put in all that cabling and run our own cable company, basically, or internet company, as the case may be.
You mean something like a line G set by chance, or?
So a lot of times, like I live in Chicopee right now, and I'll be moving there. So we deal with Holyoke Gas and Electric, which is through Chicopee has like now their own internet circuit that they get through Holyoke Gas and Electric. But the littler towns can get GoNet speed, and they will front all the costs for setting up the network in the town. They'll bring the feeds to the houses and everything.
Yeah, are they a cable provider or are they just internet?
Just the internet provider.
So Brian, you're talking about fiber to the home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they even do fiber to the business, such as, the town halls they could do and everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think Deerfield has got the middle mile done, but not not the last, not to the home.
Yeah.
Most towns, I think, do. Leverett did that, and but it was pretty expensive. I mean, I don't know which one. I know things have come down and there's different options now, but I'd be surprised if that was going to happen. We're sort of at the tail end of the agreement here and in the ninth, hour here.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Right. No, it's not, I don't think it's the ninth hour, but I don't think Comcast will do it. It would mean getting someone else to do it. And I think Bill might be, one of the reasons we can have this negotiation is because Comcast is a cable company, right? And we're negotiating a cable services agreement. And I don't know how that applies uh, to a company that might, bring in fiber and really only deal with internet.
Okay. Just a thought.
No, I think, I guess I don't really have a very well-informed answer for you.
Other towns have done it. Leverett's one.
Oh,
that-
yeah, but Leverett couldn't get Comcast to service them.
Right.
So, go ahead, Becky.
Brian, Shutesbury also, like Leverett, built their own cable network. And like Leverett, Comcast refused to bring their cables to Shutesbury because they did not feel they could make enough money.
Yeah.
So we went, we had dial-up until 2020 in Shutesbury, and it was horrible, but we had plenty of incentive to build our network. It cost the town millions of dollars, which at this point we're financing our MLP, our municipal light plant in Shutesbury through subscriptions, through our subscribers, and we are doing really, really well. We had a sufficient take rate. It was something like 93% in town because there were no other options. So in an ideal situation, I would be drafting you right now, Brian, to be on a committee to build
Yeah.
our own network. But I'm not sure, because of the Comcast being available and everything else getting state funding, you don't have the same story to bring to the state. The state was essential in providing funding and direction. And well, the funding, we had the direction. But I mean, there was a group called anyway, were many efforts, and many small towns have done this in Massachusetts. And maybe we can talk more about it in the future, but I don't think we don't have the story to tell in Sunderland yet. We have other access to internet that those
Yeah.
communities don't.
Yeah, but boy, I would love to have an option other than Comcast for my internet because it's over $100 a month.
Shutesbury's rate is $5 a month.
Yeah, I just negotiated my parents that live in Sunderland as well, and it's $115, just for internet, and that doesn't even include cable TV.
Yeah.
Fiber, you're looking at $70 to $85 a month, which, $35 of savings can help quite a bit of people.
Yeah.
I gave up.
If we
Well, when
could
you
incorporate into that, I'm sorry.
This is suddenly increased, and that's of course one of the problems. Why do we have to be stuck with one provider? Why can't we have multiple providers the way most Amherst does? Lots of towns have multiple.
Actually, in Western Mass, Amherst is the exception of having multiple providers. Very, very few places have
What about
more than
Greenfield?
one cable provider available.
Mhm.
And a part of our agreement with Comcast is if somebody else comes in to provide cable service, and this may also apply to internet service, then we have to enforce the same deal we give to Comcast, which means 5% of revenue comes back to the town to support the local access. So I don't know if that's true in Shutesbury, if that is part of your deal to support your public access, or maybe Shutesbury didn't have public access.
Shutesbury never had public access, so the field was wide open. Verizon was the only player, and Verizon had abandoned us, and well, they
Yeah.
didn't abandon us. We had probably 6 to 10 Verizon wire trucks in town at all times because it was just the copper was disintegrating. We didn't have enough ports. They just let it all, Verizon just let it all fall.
I'd be curious how many are.
I'd certainly
Oh, yeah.
support somebody looking into that and seeing what we could do. Sorry, Dan, I
Yeah.
think I cut you off.
No, that's all right. I was just gonna say, I'm curious how many people are just getting rid of the cable, the cable TV piece altogether. If that's dropping off, I'm sure all the revenue's coming from the other side.
Yeah, I paid cable a long time ago, and
Yeah.
then my bill stayed the same
Yeah.
because they raised the cost of everything else.
Yeah.
So, and I need a landline because I don't get phone service otherwise at my home.
Mhm.
So I have to bundle usually with them to get $5 off or something, but
Yeah,
Yeah, when Wired West was the umbrella organization about 10 years ago, that really, there were 50 some towns, 60 towns involved, and all over Western Mass. But one of our original models was to have TV, and that we worked really hard on the TV piece, but by the time we rolled out, we were able to educate people how to get their television off of service, off of the internet, streaming
Yeah.
services.
I do.
So yeah,
Yes,
YouTube TV,
Yeah.
significantly cheaper than Comcast, and you get about the same channels.
hi Cindy.
Mhm.
Hi. Can I speak?
oh, sure, go ahead, Cindy, we're just.
Okay.
everybody's
those of
looking
you-
there.
Okay, thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I retired from the town last year after 24 years of service. So I have a little history of some of that stuff. So what Dan was referring to, we do get a report of all the services that are offered throughout the town that folks sign up for. About 4 or 5 years ago, I think it might have been pre-COVID, we had met with them and asked for them to offer more services to the town and extend up to Bull Hill in particular. Most of those folks only wanted to sign up for internet, which was not ideal for Comcast. And I don't know if they ended up just doing that as well. I myself only have internet and the home alarm system, and I pay $179. So not a fan. I don't do cable either. However, this has been bounced around for years. We have too much farmland. They won't run cables and such throughout those areas. And it's just not enough to offer more. We have fiber optics in the center of town, and it's in the town office buildings. That was run way back when I think it was John Oliver did that. And so we don't even know if they work, because there was an electrical storm shortly after that, and there were sparks coming out of the box on the wall. And that's been the end of that. But it was horribly expensive back then when that was also being offered. But we've been bouncing this around for years in the town. I just wanted to throw that out there. Same complaints. We just don't have any other options at the time.
Yeah.
Those services that everybody signs up for are in reports that we get I think it's probably yearly, maybe twice a
Yeah.
year, they get from Comcast.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there might be enough energy in the room to just look into that. Can we look into that in parallel and see what would it cost to do a kind of network that Brian was talking about, and Brian seems to be the most knowledgeable about. Like, could we get an estimate from the company Brian mentioned?
That way.
Westfield Gas and Electric, is that what you want with?
No, well, no, I thought you mentioned another company.
I mentioned,
Crunch up the cost.
yeah, I mentioned Holyoke Gas and Electric because I know that they're the local town. And Go Net Speed is another one that I know gets put up in like Worthington and whatnot. I actually just emailed Holyoke Gas and Electric just to ask them some questions on it, so I'll probably get some answers today.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that would be great to look into, because if there were a way to say, hey, everybody can have internet for $75 a month in our towns, I think we'd get a lot of subscribers, and we could build into that support for our public access, which is our other the other thing we want. We don't want to abandon our public access. And everyone can access that through the internet. You don't need to have cable to have access to our public access TV.
like Shutesbury had to become an MLP to be able to create, so Sunderland would have to become an MLP.
Very good. Sorry. What's up, Bill?
Is Bill here?
No.
But there's some things. we
I'll
can
go
do.
check downstairs to see if he's arrived.
I'll go look out the window if you want, Jonathan.
There's plenty.
Becky back, well,
Jonathan bought it.
Jonathan.
There's some more bags there.
Oh, gotta go. Jonathan.
Hey, Brian, I'm kind of curious of the fiber, was it last mile that was built out, for instance, by you know, when you have that kind of population density, you can, you know, there'll be a company or you know, I'm just thinking like in Deerfield, private school may want to, you know, run fiber to their campus. And then usually what happens is you get piggybacking on that and they reach out and see if, you know, want to start running it to homes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's usually what it's done. Usually the companies will come in, they'll run the fiber, and they'll run it on either a backbone of either say Holyoke Gas and Electric because they're a main pipe in this area.
Yep.
Or even the state, I think, has something that runs right down 91, if I recall. Straight to Greenfield. So
Yeah, that's probably your middle mile though, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
there's ways we can tie in, and then Go Net Speed or something, or HG&E would have something in the town that they would put up, and things would tie back into that, and then tie into the last mile. So there's options out there, I think.
Well, are you willing to take the next few steps to look into that?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Great, thank you,
Oh,
Brian.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it when people show up and then have great ideas and then are also willing to do something about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
if I'm gonna live in the town, whatever I can do to help. So, and
Oh,
I
great.
actually grew up in the town, so I'm kind of moving back, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, well, Dan, what other committees you gonna get him on?
No, I was just gonna say, I'd be real curious what density they need to make it work. You know, what's their sweet spot where they will start thinking about it?
Yeah, like I said, I already emailed HG&E, so
Okay.
I'll get back from Holyoke Gas, and I'll see if I can get a contact for Go Net Speed.
Okay.
For you,
There's no chair.
another chair. How about that?
Well, I'm just gonna give you that.
Oh, Bill's here.
I know with cable, Dan, that it used to be you know, a minimum of like 10 residents within a mile.
Yeah.
But
But I think in our contract, it's larger because we're rural. I believe it's 30. I'm just sorry, it's no. No, I think you're right. I think it is 10 for us. And and that normally in a city it's more than that.
yeah, you're probably right. It's probably more
Yeah.
like 30 at the minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I get more information, who should I reach out to?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm chairing this group, and I am an electrical engineer, so we have probably, I don't know, 25% of our technical language in common. So maybe I would be a good person to reach out to. I will put my email in the chat.
Perfect, thank you.
So I'm also curious, there is in the legislature an attempt to work on rural economic development and so forth. What are they, what kind of initiatives might they be trying to forward that would help out localities on these kinds of problems? Anything?
Mm.
The
Or
MBI
really-
We could ask
MBI
our legislators, but the state mostly gives lip service to rural development.
Well, MBI
Yeah.
is running a BEAD program right now. That's the main initiative is through the MBI right now.
Yeah.
It's their BEAD, which is more about digital, you know, just equity. So if your town is dealing with equity issues in terms of access to cable and internet, you know, they can apply for grants through the MBI.
Yeah.
Okay, that's equity with respect to other places, or is it just internal? Because if everybody's deprived of
Right.
service-
Well, What my understanding is that most towns now are above, the big push 10 years ago was to get everybody above 96% built out internally. And
Yeah.
and so, if there's anything that's left in your towns that need build out, this is the time to negotiate that. But I don't know. I don't know what, these towns are. I think
Yeah.
Deerfield's completely built out, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, for the most part, I think we meet the 96% in all our towns. But there are like for my town in this contract, I want to get there's one house that just really wants cable that is far enough away that Comcast won't do it without a huge bill that these folks can't afford. As far as the MBI goes, they think we are already served because we have Comcast. They think of Comcast as, if you have one internet provider that does high-speed internet, then they consider you served. And it's very hard to get a grant from them. But that's if that's changed, then somebody
Well,
please prove me wrong and let's get a grant from them.
Well, the MBI, yeah, they are running it's a little bit different. It's the broadband equity access and deployment. And, there's about what is it? I'm looking it up right now, about 147 million. Um, and I know that Gil has applied. We've received, I think, some funds for that. And it's really just for instance, like we need to get access to seniors in a way that we don't necessarily have in town. So to beef up, maybe it could be beef up the throughput, in terms of download and upload speeds and that kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
there is money there, but Joyce is right. I think, it's not really about build out now. It's more about upgrades and making sure that, where you have maybe a lot of density in one place where you're working off one node and it's bogging
Yeah.
down, they can add nodes and things like that.
Yeah, okay. I think largely they basically agreed. I mean, Comcast has good lobbyists, but they just basically agreed not to compete with Comcast. So your tax dollars at work. Sorry to be so cynical.
We do have Verizon, right, in some parts of Sunderland, is that true? Because I get Verizon messages every once in a while saying, we're in Sunderland, but not in my area,
Yeah, same, same.
yeah.
I think you have to be close enough to a node for to get the high speed. Well,
Yeah,
now
I
that
mean-
he's here and he is now like got his all his stuff is laid out. I can see he's ready to go. We've already we heard from John about he's got a capital plan. He's got a couple of I's to dot and T's to cross with respect to needs in the individual towns, but I think he's got our collective FCAT capital plan draft for you.
Yeah, good, and I just wanted to go pull that up again. The total capital number, and let me pull up the plan she did with you, Jonathan. Let's find that here. It's those words. Okay, Tammy, all right. And okay, let's see, this is, yeah, no. That's for the discussion. Okay, just looking for her report again, okay.
Trying not to spy on.
Yeah, no, that's all Danielle's, yeah. Okay, so I think it's fine. Right, so that's the first check, so. Okay, let's open that up. So. Total 351,000. And let me,
Sorry, that's the total capital cost for what?
and does that, Jonathan, is that 10 years?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so let's go over it. Let me just pull this out.
Let me pull it up again.
Oh, that's better.
Upgrade needs?
And then- There it is.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so let me just do this.
There we are.
We need to share. I mean,
Well, well, yeah, in a minute, yeah. Let me just take a look again at one last thing, the numbers, okay. All right, I thought I had done, remind me, otherwise I'll take a quick look. The total subscriber numbers for the 3 towns. I provided that last time, but, let's see.
That's what I have here for numbers, is what the figure you stated.
And what is that?
All right, this is just a quick look here on Comcast. All right, so Sunderland 556.
Is cable or,
Okay, just cable, yeah.
yeah,
556. Down from 622.
Excuse me, sorry.
And then Deerfield. $1,201.
Bless you.
Let's see, down from 1,315, down to 1,437. In Whately. 1. Who is that? 387.
387.
Yep, 387, down from 424,
So everybody's dropping.
down from 460.
Makes sense.
Okay, so just doing the quick math again, I know I had that separately, but 387 plus 556
So 10%.
plus 2,144. And assuming, let's say we were to get $100 per subscriber capital. Let's just use that number for now. Times over 10 years, times 2,000, times 100. It's 214,400. And our capital plan is 351,190. All right, so that's good. So let's just see on each category. We have the playback year 1. Meeting room here in Sunderland. Robotics is that at the studio? Where would that be?
Robotics would be in the or like automation of the board for coverage and all that would be in the meeting rooms.
Of the town, so is that portable? No,
They'll be in the room,
which room?
the meeting room. For which town?
Well, I guess it's Sunderland, I guess it's year
Yeah,
two, so I
for
guess.
Sunderland, it's gonna be in the Sunderland meeting room.
Deerfield, year two, meeting room gear, year three.
Now, there are some modifications we're gonna need to make to the report for the town of Deerfield, because we're gonna be having that equipment installed into the 1888 building and like to use PEG money for that, so may need to make some
Yeah, well,
revisions.
for purposes of a capital plan, you know, we include everything. So, so what about this? And there's Whately, year three. All right, and because Conway is really not part of our renewal,
Right,
but I keep Conway, you know, outside of the document, a separate document. And then what about this Autel Robotics in Sunderland? There's no need for it in Deerfield?
we have it installed already.
Okay. And
It's in the
then-
process of being installed, rather. That's one of my goals. So the Deerfield project there is complete for now.
And what about Whately only has, what's the Whately equipment? What's that?
I can call it up real quick.
I think Whately basically has an owl, and we,
Yeah, I'm interested in upgrading to the Whately.
So you-
in upgrade something beyond an owl, so that's one of those D10 boards.
Yeah, all right, well, so we need to complete Whately. And there's more to do on Deerfield. So yeah, I don't know if you got together with her, but if you know, maybe this coming week or something, or the following week. All
I
right,
can
portable,
reach out to her within the coming
Say again, Jonathan? We didn't hear you.
I will reach out to her next week.
Oh, great.
okay, and then portable equipment for live remote productions. It says year 5, you're saying you have enough equipment now to last you to year 5?
Believe so. We may need to do some upgrades of it eventually, but I mean, that would be for like town meeting coverage and all.
Portable equipment for live remote, okay, well, we don't wanna be shy in what we think we need, if it's honest. And we don't wanna be shy about asking for it, you know, sooner rather than later if there's a need. So, year 5's, you know, year 5 is premised on the idea that you have everything you need for 5 years. And if you don't, we need to move some things up.
Is, I gotta, just to process, is the cable completely firewalled from the fiber or from the internet? I mean, it's just strictly all based on negotiation on the number of cable. I mean, a number of, yeah, cable television subscribers, and the other piece they don't talk about, or it doesn't.
Right, although I'll talk about, I'll talk about them more today
Okay.
as a concept, but for now, in terms of dollars, yes, and subscribers. But I'll talk about the bigger picture that about, that's a good point. I'll talk about the big picture.
Okay, thanks.
Which is something I've been focusing on recently and articulating. All right, then, portable gear, year 6, which is, I mean, I'm not sure why we have a year 6. Oh, that was, oh, well, that's portable gear, year 6. How is that different? What is that for? Is that for the schools, or? I mean, in other words, we have portable gear in year 6 and portable equipment in year 5. I mean, you can
So
look at the.
if we need to make upgrades or anything,
I'm just not really getting connected. It's just, I think we need to, I mean, whatever the equipment is, and we can look at together separately. You need to make sure, I'm not sure why something would be in year 6 and not year, I mean. Year 5 may move up in part. But then we have a year 6. How does year 6 get picked? It's an odd year, to throw a dart and come up with your upgrade. I mean, unless it's a theory behind it. So if there's not, I mean, if it's like, well, you don't need it right away and you need it in the future.
It's probably
At least
something I need in the future just to make upgrades and all.
Well, I would put it in year 5. The more you get to year 6, the more they can say, well, you know, that's gonna last beyond this license and that's the next license. So,
Okay.
you know, all things being equal, I wouldn't put anything, I'd only put things past year 5 that
Then you were
truly,
7.
yeah, that truly need, no,
Drone.
yeah, well, that's interesting. So there may be things that do need to be fixed in year 7. You know, I'm not saying you can't have it, but this is a large
Yeah.
set of equipment that's in 6. So I think you, Danielle and I should speak together. I may have one other person on the line. And we should go over the full equipment and make sure we have everything, including for each of the towns. If each town needs equipment besides your one meeting room, you know, then we should list it. And we're not saying we're gonna get it, but we're putting our needs and they can balance it by cost. So
Okay.
why don't we set that up, Jonathan, so it'd be at least 3 people, maybe 4, on a video conference with Danielle, you know.
Okay,
3
we can do that.
Okay, that'd be good. Okay, and then a drone. Interesting. If we borrow one from Amazon, but I think it's a good point, but it seems to me, I mean, again, year 7 strikes me as an odd year.
Well, right now we have a licensed drone pilot on staff.
Yep,
He's talking about retiring in the future, and this was why we're pushing that up, because once if he decides to continue working with us or not, we're gonna need to, of course, get some equipment to replace that, so,
what is, he uses his own drone?
yes.
I would say it reminds me of his growing up, where one of the highlights of my youth was when there was a kid, and I don't know, he just like said, well, I have to play. He lost the game, but he said he had to play again because it was his basketball. I remember saying, well, it's our court. I'm not sure that's a good theory for why losers get to play the next game rather than what we play winners. I feel the same way about a drone. You know, he's bringing his own drone. That's nice, but why should he have to bring his own drone? So I think I would push it. I just would push it up to year 5. You know, in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, or earlier, but not 7, because 7, I mean, 7 shows like we're using our own equipment, we're not just asking you, but if it's fear of retirement, and we'll talk to that, I would push it up at least to 5, you know, that's a fair point. Because 7, anything that late, they can blow, in theory, if they could blow off to say, well, it's so late. All right, so we'll have that conversation. We'll end up with more equipment and recalibrate the years. But this is a great start. It's beyond what we're gonna practically get. So that's, you know, I never like it to be below what the numbers crunch unless the answer is you don't need anything. You don't need those things, because we have to take the moral high ground and be honest about it. All right, so that's that. Let's go to one update on high definition channels. I was able to the Vineyard, and the Vineyard's odd because it's all they're all served by one head end, so you can do more. Like I get the electronic program guide for PEG. You have to pay for it, but we get it. And I was able to get first 3, then 4 HD channels. No one else really has that, but it's the Vineyard, so I don't give myself a lot of credit. But Concord, which I've worked with in the past, Concord was able to get 3 HD channels. And then like the SD will disappear in a year, or if there's no more than a certain number of non-digital subscribers. But the bottom line, 3 HD channels. What I've been getting is 1, like most people, and then kind of the best in the state side letter that says, look, come talk to us over, you know, in the next 6 years about doing additional HD channels and doing the electronic program guide. But now that Concord has got their 3, again, in addition to what I did in the Vineyard, then it like opens the door, because Comcast usually says, And once we start doing something, then, we're just gonna do it for one town, we're gonna be doing it generally. So I have towns that are just like inches from signing. 3 towns, two cities in one town. And it's like, wow, you know what? And we were talking this with Peabody yesterday, and the mayor and the whole big team. Now that you, Comcast, now that you're doing, and this is a different district than out here, but still, now that you're doing HD, well, 3 HD, we want that, because let's take Peabody. Peabody signed in 2000, we've been waiting 20 years for HD channels. They were doing a study in Longmeadow that I would say was the second longest study after the Framingham Heart Study. And I was like, thanks for laughing. So you waited all those years, 15 years. And then Peabody, like these other towns I had, signed in 2015, a 10-year license to 2025. And, they weren't doing HD, so the towns didn't push it. They just didn't push it. We could have pushed it, but all right, you're not doing it, all right. But then comes like 2017, and because of the legislature was within a hair of passing a requirement that cable companies do HD for PEG, Comcast said, all right, we'll do it. And they did it first, like in Revere, then Brockton, then my town, Milton, and they weren't charging, and they were doing it at a reasonable time, but they did a channel. So here's Peabody signing in 2015, and now in 2017, all these towns are getting an HD channel. And Peabody didn't push or anything, so it had to wait to 2025, as well as these other places. And in the Comcast view, that's why I do that side letter, that they'll talk to us about providing these things, because Comcast likes the world to be, well, you just signed the license. You have an interest in something, we'll see you in 10 years, or we'll see you in 6 years. So what I'm writing in Peabody, and then does the cities to say, look, we waited all those years, 15 years, and then another 10 years. So we can't sign a license now that doesn't have 3 HD channels, now that you're starting it. And then, like, even with a side letter, you'll talk to us and you say you're not doing it. And you say, well, talk to us in 2035. And I looked at the calendar and it doesn't look good for me. So, so with that, it's like, no, once you start doing it, you need to do it and for everybody. Now that's Eastern and Central Mass are a different Comcast division than Western Mass. But I responded to that with one word. They do it, so they didn't use the Battle of the Bulge. So what? I mean, big deal.
2 words.
It's like, so what? 2 words, that's right. I was putting it together. It's
all right.
right, back to English. So, I think that's our position. Why can't you do? If, what do they have, the Wizard of Oz? What do they have that you haven't got? Courage. So with that, I think that should be our position. Long story, but I wanted to give you the background.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to video return, and let's recap each community, what you have, and what you need going forward for video return. We now know, that you can do things on the internet now. So you have a building that you only use once a year, and it's not town meeting or something. So you know what? We may not need it, because in the world we live in now, post 2019, 2021 appeals court, they have that in-kind consideration order I mentioned last time, where they can charge you, what would that charge? But they could put the maintenance operating cost of video return, PEG access back to like the studio. In theory, maybe back to their head end, but they can put that to your 5%. We have 5% of gross revenues here for the franchise fee for PEG access. So that would, if that goes to your franchise fee calculation, then they pay you less when they pay you 5%, because they subtract what goes to it. So if we have buildings we can do by the internet, don't use it a lot, we're better off to give Comcast the good news that we don't need you to do it. So let's do one at a time. I have Deerfield out. And let's go over Deerfield as to what video return is there and what we need going forward. Now Deerfield, well, they had the old and the new, right? We went over this list, but I had some notes and I'm sure I have them, but let's just do it again. So we have the 6.3B is the new. And this has all the sites for all the towns. And the hub site. So I'll go back to 6.3A and their licenses for a second. Okay, so we have. It's kind of weird. Where's the other town hall? Looking for the Deerfield town hall. I guess.
Well, what?
It's not. Okay, all right, well. The Deerfield Town Hall is certainly connected, so let's go over these locations. The Whately Elementary School. And Joyce, any thoughts?
I don't think they use it that much.
Okay,
I was also thinking the ones we have in the center of town, I don't think the library is used for that. The center school is an empty building now. And what was the other? There was another one on Long Plain Road, I think.
Municipal offices, yes. Right?
Yeah, there's a library, the town hall. If we need to give them back something, if this is a good bargaining chip, I think we could, I would leave it at the school, I think, because I think sometimes we do want to broadcast live from there for town meeting. I know we have done that, right?
Yep.
But
Usually we've done that, we've streamed into our servers for that,
Right.
so we don't really need like a cable hookup anymore.
yeah. So, I was gonna say, back when I was running the show, I mean, the only thing, we didn't have the internet hookup.
Well, what we're gonna be doing is the new server we're looking into getting is gonna allow us to stream into it, and then it's gonna be relocated here in the Sunderland, and then they'll put it out over the airwaves, so we'll be able to stream things without having that cable hookup from the schools. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So,
We've grown up.
so I would think the only place we really need it is the place, I think our bulletin board runs out of a computer in the town offices. So unless you've got a replacement for that in your plan, John.
Okay.
That's the one place where I think we do broadcast live there, and we are
So
using.
all the three towns, like I want to have those replaced so people can cut in, like you say, so things can be live broadcasted and bypass FCAT.
Right, I think that's what we have right now, though.
Right.
Yeah. But the only place
All right.
we ever do that from is the town offices for Sandy Lane.
Right.
The other places, honestly, they're
Elementary
used to.
Elementary school, no or yes?
No, they've got really good internet and we just use that instead.
Okay, and you pay for the internet, so, you know, I mean, if it was a world where you paid for the internet was a lot of money, then we might say, well, let them do that. But you need the internet, so we're only gonna keep the municipal offices in a world where we have an agreement. If we don't have an agreement, then our position is do them all, you know. That
Okay.
exist. But, all right, so then Sunderland Town Hall. Yes, I mean, that's here. So agreed, Sunderland folks.
Under Sunland, should you have the senior center? because it's in Sunderland now.
Well, later on, we have the above our currently aggregated with the signal. We have the public library, the public safety and the elementary school, both. And I currently aggregated the signals for the, so let's talk about those first. The library, and oftentimes the library it just isn't used much. Unless, I mean, there's a meeting room. If there's a public meeting room that you would televise from, then we should include it.
Jim, you know,
Yeah.
Have we televised from there, Jonathan? From the li-
I don't foresee anything like that. I know there was talk about using the Tilton Library as an overflow room, but we have a plan for that, and I'll talk to Greg as in the future
How
about
about Sunderland? How about Sunderland?
We've never really seen a need to use the library for anything like that. I know, like, the reason why the Tilton was brought up was in case that there was a meeting that was too big for that meeting room, having people meet in the Tilton meeting space, but that was a whole. Oh, why is everybody's videos disabled? Greg, try it again. Greg can't get on. Can you do it now? There you go. But Sunderland, we've never really had like an overflow. I remember too, there have been times where we've used the FCAT offices as sort of an overflow room for Sunderland meetings here. I remember before the pandemic, there were a few, and we just set up channel 15 to play our broadcast off the cable. And so, I mean, I can't foresee anything being.
Library. So public safety, is that an emergency center in Sunderland?
Yeah, it's the fire department and the police department.
And it's the emergency designated as emergency center, I take it.
Well, you mean emergency as far as like emergency heat or?
Emergency management.
Management, yeah.
You need it
Yes,
for emergency.
management center, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's keep that for now, okay? And the elementary school? Jonathan, have you ever gone from the elementary school?
Sunderland,
Yeah,
used to hook up there.
we don't have a hookup right now.
Supposedly we do, but that's what Tom Zanowski, I guess I heard from Tom Zanowski said, but I mean, our equipment's not compatible with that hookup because you have to down convert things, so.
Would you like it to be live there?
I don't think we're going to need it because we'll just use the internet to stream in. So I don't think really having a hookup like that's really necessary. It's one more wire we have to hook up. And I think it'd just be easier for us to stream into the server and have that go out on the new channel.
Okay, I think that's okay. With police is different because that's the emergency. Cable sometimes stays up when the internet goes down. So I think police, as we have down, we want that. It sounds as if the elementary school, these folks prefer using the internet. It's better for their equipment. We're offering this to Comcast as a compromise because we want other things like pet capital and stuff like that. So, okay, so let's go back to Deerfield. Well, there's the town hall, yes, right? And then the library. And Jonathan, have you gone from the live from the?
I don't
Deerfield
see a
library?
need to have the Sunderland or Whately libraries have hookups.
Deer-
Okay, so give up.
Deerfield, no?
I think the libraries have them, they've just really not been used.
Really?
Yeah, I
can
know
ask
Whately
Catherine
has
Hand
one.
and Whately about that because I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, but it's it's the old kind of hookup that
Okay.
is not very
I actually am a little
compatible.
curious if you're there now.
Yeah. No,
Huh.
there's a little cable, a little RF hookup right in the wall there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All this stuff I'm learning.
The elementary school in Deerfield. Have you gone live there, Jonathan?
We've never, as far as I've been employed at FCAT since 2017, we've never done anything from this Deerfield Elementary School.
All right, and you would by
With
the
the
internet.
exception of school committee meetings.
Say that again?
With the exception of school committee meetings, if there's a town meeting, they meet in the Frontier
The front.
Regional School. We've never used the Deerfield Elementary School for anything, to my knowledge.
And the school committee meets where?
So there is a Deerfield School Committee meeting that meets in the Deerfield Elementary School, but that's usually just they record it through with the Google Meet.
Yeah.
We usually send a camera there, so I don't think it's necessary to have a hookup there.
Let's do this. Let's keep it down as we need it. It's the school committee. If Eileen wants to negotiate it away, she can do that. Yeah, because we have a reason Deidre for why we want to be there. That makes sense. So keep it, but up for negotiation.
Okay.
All right, the fire station, South Deerfield, is that is that an emergency management?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we're gonna keep that. You know. Thank you.
Who said Frontier was yes?
Yeah, and then the South County Senior Center, I mean,
Sunderland now.
Sunderland Senior Center.
No.
They don't have a building yet, so we could talk to Jennifer Remillard and see if she would like something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Jen right after this meeting.
Oh, you have a meeting with her?
Well, I mean, we're gonna chat. It's not an official meeting or anything, but
I heard
um,
nothing.
we've done very, when we were in the building that has the hookup from 10 years ago, we didn't really use it. And I think the technology has just,
So
it's gonna
probably,
be easier if Jonathan comes over and does things with the internet instead. So I'd say that we could give that up fairly easily, but I will talk to Jen and see what she thinks.
good, all right, so it's no unless Joyce reports differently.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, the regional school, of course, yes. And FCAT Studios are in Sunderland now, so we can take that off here. All right, is there anything else that's been built or?
They've got the 1888 building. They're planning on building out within 2 years. They just let a close to an $8 million contract to put a new building up and renovate the building.
So
That will become the new town hall for Deerfield.
oh, it will be, all right, so let me make a note of that.
So we want to be able to switch the service over to the new building once they become operational. And then we can disconnect the service to the old building.
Which is the municipal building.
Right.
Okay, building, becoming town hall, now the way Comcast sees the world is they want you to pay for everything. But we'll negotiate that, coming town hall in 2027, maybe?
Right now, they're scheduling it about 2 years out, so I
Okay.
would say that's about right.
Okay. All right, that's helpful.
And
thank
then
you.
again, if Trump knocks off a $4 million grant, the whole thing could put anyway.
Right. Okay. All right, that's good, that's great, so I'm gonna, maybe two people, maybe, someone with the committee and myself, will both write this up. And, well, it's fresh in our minds and we'll put it in a sheet that we have, okay? That's great. All right, so we've gone over, we have a pet capital plan to talk to Danielle, Jonathan, myself, maybe one more person. We've gone over the video return, we've gone over HD channels. Let's go over, now here's the other thing we have going for us. And it's kind of, it's sometimes you can keep it under the radar, but you know, if you had each town getting an HD channel. You know, because they're by license, Deerfield gets an HD channel. And Sunderland gets that in Whately. And we don't say anything more, we don't say it's shared or this or that, then in theory, we have 3 HD channels. Because each one says that they want an HD channel. So I'm not depending on that. Cause I think we should raise it. But if I need to go to step 2, it's the old, I remember 3rd year in law school, at the very end. How to pull the wool over someone's eyes. And so.
Well, they've been doing it with us for years, so they know all about that.
Yeah,
3 steps.
that's right. So it's fair too, because if we were separate, we would each get 3 channels, including 1 HD. And so there's nothing that's unfair about that. I mean, why should you be punished? Because you're doing this cost effectively and costing them less money, you know, so. All right, so we've done HD, we've been in return. I think we're gonna electronic program guide will also, you know, ask for.
I've had a lot of board members ask about the electronic program guide, so we can do that.
Well, no one does. I got it like 10 years ago in the Vineyard. I got it in the license, but the way they write it up, and they did the same for Concord, like mirroring what I did in Vineyard, is they just tell you you can have it's a private company that does it. Contact the private company, they'll charge you, and it's whether it's cost effective, and also how the timing of getting the video uploaded. But I think for purposes of our renewal, we're gonna make that an issue. You know, because on all these issues, you make it an issue, because if we're adverse and we're used, both. We go to we don't go to like this formal legal process, but if we can help it, but we're adverse to each other legally. We want on the record to show that they didn't meet our needs, that these were reasonable needs. The Cable Act allows you to do what's called a preliminary denial. If they don't meet your future cable related community needs and interests. So we have a community need and interest to have the electronic program right for PEG. Everyone else has it, all the other kids get it. And so we should get it too. Now, will we get it? Maybe not. If we get it, we still just have the right to access their private company. But I think our position should be that it's a fair request. But what have you heard from folks? About the electronic program guide? Jonathan, I thought you said you had heard something about it. Maybe somebody else.
What's that?
Have you heard something about the electronic program guide from folks?
I've had people ask, like, how come when we pull up channel 15 or 12, we can't see what's coming up? So I've had people ask about it.
Well,
But
okay, yeah, no, I mean, that's an important use of it. So good. All right.
it would
So-
definitely make my life easier too. Or whoever does programming.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go to the because we're gonna ask for a senior discount. Remind me, did we have a senior discount now? I think no.
No,
Yeah, you know, they don't, out here, they make a point of not doing it. We can't, they don't have to do it legally. We can't require them to do it. We can, you know, it's fair to make an issue of it, and a public issue, say we're disappointed. But we don't wanna make a legal issue of it, you know, you have the right to disappoint us, and we have the right to say we're disappointed. So, so with that, let's go to the hearing, discuss that again. And I think we were looking, I thought it was early October, wasn't that correct?
We're
That
looking
might
at
have
doing
been-
September originally, but I don't know if that will work. Let me
Okay.
pull up my schedule.
Yeah.
it was scheduled for Tuesday, September 16th.
Okay, let me put that in then, good, thank you. It may already be in my book. So that means Jonathan, everyone, and then folks, we all have to get ready right away, we have to start working right away. To get people there. And I think what helps is if I do these, I mentioned these department head meetings. where I go to each town when there's a department head meeting and take about like 35 minutes. Go over each department head, what they do now, what they could do.
What we're looking at doing is we're gonna hold it here, but look into doing sort of an open house / hearing so people can check out the station too and sort of take advantage of that as a way to try to draw people to the hearing. Maybe serve cake and pizza as well.
So that's September, oh, I have it down, Frontier hearing. And what time again, you think, guys? You think about 6:30 or something, maybe be good, or 7, or, I mean, you don't be too late because people with kids, you think you could do it, start it with the open house thing? You think we could start as early as 6?
Yeah,
Open house, so open house from 6 to 7?
You said 16?
yeah.
Okay, open house 6 to
Actually, that
7.
date kind of works well because we have a FCAP board meeting planned earlier at 5:30. That would work. I have our board meeting and have go into an open house. So I'll run by the board to make sure it's fine with them, but that could work.
Okay, so open house, we wanna have potluck, everyone bring, I said I would bring cookies. Or brownies. Not cookies.
I'll get some cake and we have our favorite pizza destination too. That we like.
Yes, who made the, is this made today, is it, yes, yeah, wow, that's great. Well,
Good.
yeah. Good.
I made popcorn. It was in the microwave.
Good, well, if you.
Top secret.
Does this get used if it doesn't get used now? All right, so let's talk about department heads. You think I could get to a Sunderland department head meeting? I need about half an hour.
Sure, and do you want the school there too? I usually don't have a school there.
You know, I think we should do the schools separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we have, do you have a September, before the September 16th?
I have to check when my police chief is back, because
Okay.
he had some vacation.
Okay, we'll check on that. And let's see, we don't have the default manager here, right? So,
Is Greg's not there?
all right, so maybe I'll check with Deerfield.
Okay, and I'll email you, Bill. When we
Okay,
get it set up.
thank you.
Are you trying to have it before the 16th?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Joyce, Wakely. I don't know if we can get it.
Yeah, so we don't hold department head meetings regularly, but if I can schedule something, it just needs to be a Tuesday to Thursday, sometime between Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay, well, we could do, maybe with, the hearing the 16th, September 9th. The
September
morning,
9th.
right? September 9th for, Wakely.
Let me, September 9th might work. I'd have to go and reach out to the department heads to see what everybody's availability is, but yeah.
Okay. And then if you could check on dates, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'll try for the 11th.
Yeah, that would be great. Morning, right?
Yeah, what time is,
Anytime.
okay, 9:30?
Thursday, right? Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, is that a Friday? No, it's a Thursday, right? Yeah, it's a Thursday. Do you need us to set up a meeting with you, Bill, with the school?
Yes, we should. We should, and maybe make it with a few people if we had, if we could do it.
Like the principal and some,
Superintendent.
what is your?
Yeah, is to get them interested so they can come to a hearing, we talked about having a school hearing separate, and I think we will. If we could get someone at the public hearing, great, but I think a school hearing separate where we get like one that's in after school, well, or depends, they have activities though after school, but so I think we just want to meet with maybe someone come to the
Yeah.
hearing generally, and then talk about their separate hearing. And so the principals, the superintendent if it's available, the assistant superintendent, particularly if they have a media person. Jonathan, do they have a media person?
We have Kevin Murphy, who's the youth outreach coordinator. He's the one who oversees a lot of the coverage of school events, so he would be the one that we
Yes.
want to have here.
Yeah,
He's
most
with-
of the school stuff is with Frontier, the middle and high school, and a lot less with the elementary schools. Just, I think because of the kids' ages.
Yeah.
And Kevin does an awesome job. He's very, very enthusiastic about it.
Kevin's with FCAT.
Yes.
He's also the a media teacher at Frontier. He teaches one of the technology teachers.
FCAT and Frontier.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could get that meeting together with he and any school people, we can set the table we know and talk about the process and how they can help us. And maybe have one person or two at the hearing, even if we have a separate process.
So are we trying to have one meeting with, for Sunderland, Whately and Deerfield,
Yes,
all our schools?
well,
One hearing,
One-
yeah.
well, separate from what we're talking the hearing.
I'm sorry, I mean, I'm talking about, you want to meet with them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna meet with the department heads, and then separately, I think we should have a group of us meet with the schools.
Okay, and have all the school people together. Okay.
Yeah, now, the challenge of the schools is this. And we didn't do any equipment for the schools, correct, in the capital plan, Jonathan?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so the challenge with the schools we have to think about is when you start meeting with them, they want money. And there's not gonna be a lot of money to share. So I think we shouldn't raise the expectations. And maybe the best approach is to see if we can get them, even if we meet with them, to come to this joint hearing. And talk about how important it is, but in the context of us, you, and not in the context where they're thinking we're gonna be able to get them dollars, because there's really not gonna be any dollars left over when you get FCAT addressed and the towns addressed. So I think the purpose of the meeting would be to get them to the 16th. So that the sooner we do that with them, maybe the first week back after Labor Day, the better. Who would be in charge of that? Does anyone want to, what is the best relationship with the schools?
Sorry. Not me, but.
This is the famous, well, any volunteers, please take a step forward.
Yeah. Do you always have the schools there just to show support or
Yeah,
what's?
yeah, you get the kids, they're a great group, because you get kids who worked in FCAT, or they can get through FCAT, or do media, and it's a part of every job in the world we live in and going forward. And you get kids who say, but for this, I wouldn't have been able to do that, or get into college, or have a job. So Jonathan, if there are kids who've gone through your program, who you know about, who would be willing to come back, give 10 minutes at a time to speak, 5 minutes, even less, that'd be great if you could reach out to those kids. Is
All
there
right, I'll
other-
do what I can do. I can't make any promises though, but.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll ask my son, who is now 32 years old.
I will admit, I used to be involved with Greenfield Community Television. I mean, I could kind of incorporate, not necessarily mentioned by name, but just sort of how community media helped me kind of get going too.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure
But also, I
Kevin-
think Kevin's the person to recruit the kids.
yeah, he's really more the person to talk.
Yeah.
To.
Okay, so if we could get, who's gonna be our school contact? Anyone? Do we have anyone who?
Kevin,
Oh, okay, So then if, who's gonna be Kevin's contact with me? So that's you, Jonathan, all right? So you
Yes,
need to-
I'll reach out to Kevin and then I'll report back to you and we'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Quick call and get it set. Okay, well, I think we have a lot done from my perspective. There may be, I don't know if there's anything else, but I think we have a good game plan going forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, Becky.
I was just curious about the
So,
money thing.
Bill, if you could just sort of send me a rundown of what these open houses are so I can start to advertise them on their bulletin board to get some press releases out, I would appreciate that.
This is, which ones are those? The,
The 16th?
The 16th?
So we're gonna be doing the other ones besides from the one on the 16th, or are we just doing one on the 16th?
just the 16th, and then we'll sit down with Eileen.
Okay, so we want the students here for the one on the 16th then, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where's that meeting then?
I thought it was the 9th, which was a little,
Okay.
Well, you're gonna have an open house, Jonathan? We're gonna
yes,
meet-
we'll do an open house that day at 6 PM. I'll talk to my board. We are supposed to have a board meeting that day at 5:30, but I'll just say that we'll sort of roll that into that and encourage board members to come here that day and we can meet from 5:30 to a half hour and just go from there.
And, what room do we have? How many people does it hold?
We have, it holds about 40.
We can go over there and take a look.
We have the Sunderland meeting room that is
Oh.
set up for, with television and.
Oh, okay, all right, 40 should be good. I mean, at least that. Okay, now, that's your first name, I apologize.
Dan, that's right.
So Dan, and this everyone, what I mentioned about the internet is that, cable company and Eileen, and they'll want to say, well, we've lost a lot of subscribers, so
Right.
they're not in the same position to give you the same sort of pet capital. And, I say, well, when you could change you could change the, not structure, but really status of your company and you become a phone company. But up until now, for the last 40 years, and now you're a cable company, and the FCC, in its wisdom, has said, well, you can be in our public way, and we can't, charge you for being in the public way for internet, and we can't regulate you,
Right.
which is crazy. But so the only way you're providing internet service now is because you're a cable company.
Right.
And if you didn't, so it's related to cable. Now, when people cut the cord or shave the cord, the access folks lose money. They're gone, they're no longer a cable subscriber. They're down those dollars. But you're not, because you sell most of the internet service.
It's probably what they make all.
And so you make money through the internet service, and you're providing that service only because you have a cable license without otherwise paying for that. So our view is that, you can't be saying that, well, you're lost subscribers without also, taking consideration, you have internet subscribers. They're losing some of those now too. They're trying to change it, but they make significant dollars. They make more money on the internet, as you said, than they do on cable. So with that, we think that has to be taken into consideration. So one of the reasons I've asked Eileen for their gross revenues back to 2016 is I want to see what their revenues have changed. At one point in 17, they recalculated the bundle. They said less of it was cable, so the revenue went down, but the revenue is not down as much as the subscribers. So if your cable subscribers are down 35% since 2016, the revenue might be down, cable revenue just 10%. So when they say we've lost 35% of your subscribers, we'll say, well, but you only lost 10% of your revenue, and you're making this money on the internet. And the analogy I came up with, I like analogies, is you're renting a big building that you have all sorts of food items from me. And you call it almost Whole Foods. And right next to it, there's a little shanty. And I don't own that, but you've rented that from somebody else, and in that little shanty, you're selling, soft serve ice cream. And you're doing great, you're making a lot of money. And you say to me as the landlord, well, yeah, but I don't rent that from you. I rent that from Joe. So that's not, and I say, well, yeah, but the only reason you can have your little ice cream place is because it's right next to almost Whole Foods. So it's not like it's not related. And so when you tell me your sales are down 35% in almost Whole Foods, it's okay for me to say, yeah, but you're doing pretty well at the ice cream place. And you can't act like that's totally unrelated, because the only reason it's there is I'm here.
You're selling $10 ice cream cones.
Right, that's right. So with that, I think that's a good analogy. I like it for why, we can't just ignore the internet from our perspective.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to get a percentage of it, we can't, but we're not gonna let you say poor mouth when your other business over here, you only have because of our license is doing well. So that's the relationship
Sure.
that works, that they're totally unaware of. They've never thought of this. They just think it's separate, you can't count it, and when you hit them with it, they have to think, and the more they have to think, the more they might take a step back. All right, well, that's it for me today. I think we got a lot done, good plan, and we got a lot to do to get the word out. 16th will come fast. We need to get the deed for the property.
Oh,
head,
yes.
and we're off to the races.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, it sounds like we have completed our agenda and gotten as much as we're gonna get done for today. Is anybody who hasn't talked in a while wanna have anything you wanna add?
I can't think of anything.
All right.
Somebody asked for Brian. Sorry, I thought I heard my name.
Oh, I was just asking people who hadn't said much recently, if you had anything else to add. All right, well, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
When's our next meeting?
Good point. We should meet before this, great point, before the 16th. So,
How does the 12th look, or maybe the 5th? Or actually, the 12th will work because I'm doing an internship there on the 5th.
Okay.
I
And
can't do so I can do the 12th.
All right, looks like the 12th would be the best day for us then.
2 o'clock or?
2 o'clock works. I like doing the earlier times, to be honest.
Okay. Let me look.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, I can do 2 o'clock.
Is that 12?
The 12th, yep, 2 o'clock, yep.
Okay.
What time? Okay, all right, good.
Alrighty, I'll get that posted now, so I don't forget.
Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep.
I'll get the,
Yeah.
Is it midnight there?
Oh, where are you?
It is 9:30 p.m.
Oh, not as bad,
no,
but
like, good night, rather.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm taking that as a motion to adjourn that has been voted on by the committee.